we also have representatives from Human Resources to discuss the wellness survey results, the wellness initiatives, and e-performance. So before we get started, I'd like to start with a couple of announcements. Staff Council is hosting an event in the coming future called Open Forum with Staff Council in early June, sometime at the Theater of Student Center venue. We do not have a date or time scheduled yet, but that'll be coming soon, and all staff are invited to attend. The event will give all staff an opportunity to dialogue with Staff Council leadership and ask questions. The event will be live streamed for staff that are unable to attend in person. Let's see, so an announcement will be coming soon in the weeks coming, and we hope to see all of you attend and take advantage of the opportunity to meet and connect with Staff Council. Another announcement that I have is the 2016-2017 Staff Council WGRC scholarships that are now available. Roger Peters Staff Scholarship, B. Renee Milton Students of Staff Scholarship, and Staff Council and Women and Gender Resource Center scholarships. That's 15 total in all. The deadline to submit and complete the application is Monday, May 2nd, 2016. The application for these scholarships can be located at our Staff Council website, www.uh.edu/staffcouncil/scholarships. For additional information, please contact Rebecca Swartz at rsswartz@central.uh.edu. And my final announcement is in regards to the, 2016 Staff Council elections. That's upcoming in the near future. Please encourage your staff to run or to nominate, appear in the election. We encourage all staff to participate. So, with that, I'd like to go ahead and open up the floor to see, I don't see that our esteemed guest is here yet, but she's on her way up. Excellent. So we'll just give her a few seconds. I want to say I'm really glad to see all of y'all come and attend this event. And I also would like to make mention that we've got a new initiative or an old initiative that's being revamped. It's the Cougar Kudos that is going to be available on our Staff Council website. And if any of you remember in the past, it was a picture of Shasta giving you kudos, and it was something to recognize staff or anybody in regards to excellent service to customers or a job well done, whatever the case may be. Well, we are revamping it. Certificate's going to look like this, and it comes with a little pin. So this is something that's coming in the future. We're going to be giving our first Cougar Kudo here shortly. So I hope that you stick around for that. So I see her coming down. So welcome, President Couture. Thank you for coming. I'd like to all welcome President Couture. The floor is yours. You came perfect. It was perfect timing.
Okay. Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So let me just make sure it's turned off on silent. Otherwise, just when I'm making a big point, it will just go off. So welcome. It's nice to see you all here. And it's not Friday. A lot of you are in Redis still. Well, good. So I really don't have any PowerPoint or anything because I just thought we can discuss today the biggest steps for the university, because I generally keep my eyes on the big goals, and that's how I try to align, that's how I try to push. But all the other issues that I find out, I make sure, I either, talk to my cabinet and so on. So I do, just so that you know, I do undergraduate student roundtable. I do graduate student roundtable. And it's the same process we do. When I learn there are some issues, I say, okay, we just make sure here are the issues and how to resolve them. So I'm happy to hear anything that may be on your mind. But if you will just indulge me, I just want to tell you the same things I went to the Faculty Senate to talk about as to what's the university's direction, where it's going, and then I'll be happy to take some question answers, okay? So, as you may have heard, of course, our medical school is a one big initiative that we have. So let me give you a timeline of how this will work. Right now it is 2016. Last year was a really good year for us. It was a good year because, of course, we got Phi Beta Kappa, which may or may not mean something to everybody, but the fact is the Phi Beta Kappa, first time for this university was tried out 30 years ago. But you cannot get Phi Beta Kappa unless you have your culture for undergraduate students. How do you sort of treat them, and what's your culture? Does it support undergraduate studies? How do you treat general education? How do you teach gen ed? So there's a lot of foundational things that are so critical and so important to institutions. So that's what it's all Phi Beta Kappa about, and that's such a smart organization because they have a 2.5-year-long process of they coming and reviewing everything. I mean, they turn every stone over from athletics to facilities to name it, it's not just academic. So when they give you seal of approval, which is, by the way, given by all of those that are Ivy Leagues and all of those that are AAUs, and when they tell you that your culture now is similar to our culture and we are willing to have you in our club, I mean, that's pretty special. It's almost like gold seal of standards. So I think getting Phi Beta Kappa to me, for my 8 years of being here, was the most, I think, significant achievement for the university. I would say that was my proudest moment because it was so academic, it was so core, it was so foundational. But then, of course, Peach Bowl wasn't too far apart either. That was pretty spectacular too. So two of those things at least gave the highlights for during the year last time. So now going forward, we have 3 or 4 things that are going to be important. Among them, the most important thing we continue to focus on, of course, is student success. It's not going anywhere. Okay, that is something that's fundamental, that's foundational, that's core mission. We have to just commit to it. And right now, our graduation rates have really doing well, but they're not where they need to be. They're at 51%. And of course, I want them 60%, because then we will be over national average, okay? So we'll stay focused on that particular part. And we will, of course, also stay focused on another initiative that I think Joan is going to talk about today, and that is Fit and Caring Campus. Because we obviously, let's face it, we do have that issue about, whether we live a healthy life, we have a stressful environment as much as possible, and none of us are getting younger. We know that too. So might as well, focus on that caring, compassionate campus. So we'll continue to discuss that. Having said that, the other important pieces for us, one of that, our chairman of the Board of Regents, Tilman Fertitta, has made it a very high priority for him, almost top priority, I would say, and that is we got to get in Big 5 athletic power conferences. Now, you might have questions about it. Why do we need to do this? Which is true. 8 years ago, obviously, we just weren't nationally relevant. We used to be nationally relevant back in history. And now we are there where at least people are talking about it. We will do the same thing in basketball, hopefully what we've been able to do in football. And by the way, get your season tickets now because it's going to be a spectacular season this year, starting with Oklahoma, right, on September the 3rd in NRG Stadium. So why do we need to get in Power 5? I think the argument is pretty good, and that is even though we need to be competing at the highest level, we really are not getting right now the revenue that we should be getting. So if you are in Power 5 conferences, you will at least be getting $28 million minimum. What we get from our conference right now is $3 million. So either our conference needs to get into the Power 5 and become Power 6, or otherwise we need to be in Power 5. That's what our board chairman says. And he's a very smart businessman. I mean, I'm sure you have eaten in his restaurant. I don't know if you have watched his reality show. If you haven't, CNBC, or every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, right after Shark Tank, comes Tillman Fertitta's show called Billion Dollar Buyer. It's a fabulous show. So fabulous show, because what he does is he goes to 2 local businesses and let them pitch their ideas. And then he gives educational moments. If he likes, he'll do business with them. And overnight, they can become successful. And if he doesn't like, he just tells them what's wrong with them. So it's a pretty interesting. My only complaint with that is that on the show, he appears to have a lot more patience than he has with me or with us here. You know, I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. So what are our, other than this athletics thing, we need to get in there, because we will have to spend money on athletics, because in order to keep coaches, in order to keep your, your facilities, nobody else will pay for it. Either we're paying for it or we can get from television networks. So that's why it becomes important to get from television network. Okay, when is it going to happen? Who knows? Will it happen? Who knows? Whether conferences will expand, nobody knows. I mean, all of this is just like complete speculation outside. But we just want to be nationally relevant, playing at the level, creating the kind of excitement, creating the kind of engagement that allows us to be worthy of attention. And as any conference is looking for expansion, they just can't ignore us, because we are just the best of the rest. I think that's what we need to be at a point. So we have built a football stadium, as you know. We have an anonymous gift to name the basketball arena, and we're just raising the rest of the money now. So we will, most likely we will start that. So complete renovation of the basketball facility. We have done baseball's clubhouses coming. So I think we're kind of done with athletics there now. At this point, all it is just want to make sure that we keep winning. At the end of the day, if you're not winning, you have everything else. Who cares then? You got to win. Then medical school is coming in 2019. We have a founding dean of medical school, and he's MD. He's from Baylor, and he is doing the accreditation, the curriculum, the business plan, all of those pieces together, residencies, everything. And I want to talk in a quick second. It's not the kind of medical school that you may think. It's not like Baylor. It's not like UT Health or UTMB. It's just going to be a very specialized, very different medical school. Why we even want to be in medical school will connect us to our next initiative that I want to talk about. But before I do that, let me also tell you, we are also in the middle of capital campaign. That's a big thing, 2020. So I'm giving you our agenda, my agenda up to 2020. 2020, we would have raised $1 billion. At this point, we have raised $560 million of it in quiet phase. What universities do typically is they declare what the goal will be. They do a feasibility study, and then they declare what the goal will be based on what alumni and what the big donors are willing to give. So we've set that goal as $1 billion, because anything less than a B, what's the point? Just go with the B, because we have needs, we have aspirations, we have dreams. We absolutely, we are at a point where for our 42,000 students, we can have a $1 billion campaign. After that, it takes 7 years, so our 7 years will finish in 2020. But universities, when they have raised at least 50% of the money, then they go out publicly and make an open case. And that time they have published what is the case statement, what does it mean, what are we raising money for, how it's going to transform. So we are right now in that phase of writing that case statement, going through from all of the units and see what do we need money for. How is it going to transform the student body here? How is it going to transform what we do in terms of our core mission? Nobody cares for what it's going to do to us, right? I mean, all donations are not about what it's going to do to me, to you, or any of that. It's all about, okay, what are you doing for students, and how it's going to help the community, how it's going to help the businesses. So we're preparing that. We have raised already $560 million at this point, so we are way over our 50% mark. But we will wait out until this crazy election, because we don't want to go for public announcement, because, we may not get full attention. So we're going to do it after the elections, probably then in January, okay? So my last initiative, which I told you will connect, is probably right now, I am so passionate about it, and that is now that we have in some ways, not in every way, but in some ways that we have transformed ourselves, our university, it is time that we help our neighborhood transform itself. You couldn't do that when you are a weak partner. You just can't do that because you have to be strong enough yourself. Now that we are at a point, I just feel it is time that we engage in the neighborhood. So we have been talking with the neighborhood leaders for last 18 months. Reverend Bill Lawson is the one who's championing that cause for us and is helping us along with Dr. Elvin Lee from here. The two of them together, we are where we are just about ready to take very specific goals and very specific actions. So what it is all about is really making a Tier 1 neighborhood for a Tier 1 university. We have people in the neighborhood, the private development that's coming slowly, inching in with Super Walmart now, we are hearing is going to come where Fingers property is at that location. There's a big apartment complex going a little high level. There are another two other developments are talking about building a little strip mall here on Scott Street. So there's so much conversation going on. So much of property actually has been purchased by people. We haven't purchased any in the neighborhood. We don't need to. They're our neighbors, but private people have. And what that means is the development is coming. If development comes, we don't want the people who live there right now, the historic nature of it, to be disturbed and the people to be displaced. So the university's value proposition in going in the neighborhood along with neighbors is to keep the people in the neighborhood. And so have the growth there, development, whatever happens, happen by enabling people, not by displacing them. So we have sort of taken 3 goals as our major overarching goals. Is the education, healthcare, health of the people, and economic empowerment. So those are the things, education, health, and economy. In the economy side, there are 2 sections to it. One of them is jobs, and the other one is small businesses. So let's talk about education. It's not all about what we are doing. How many hours we volunteer. And we are not going to look at it that way. We are not going in the neighborhood or partnering with them or collaborating with them in the spirit of charity. Because when you say, okay, I'm going to go and give my time to help this and this, that could be from the feeling of charity. We don't want to do it for badge of honor because there is no prize for it anywhere. However, what we want to do is really, we want to do it in the feeling of cooperation that we can prosper together because we are part of this neighborhood. And we just want this neighborhood to succeed along with us. We want to help each other. So the goals are going to be very specific goals. For education, for instance, that's one area where we've set the goal. We started working on it since January, and that is that we're taking the schools that are 6 schools, Yates High School feeder pattern, that are in the shadows of the university. We have pledged to take those schools, working with HISD, and focusing our energy so that we can take those perpetually failing schools and convert them into passing schools. So we are not defining our success by how many hours we volunteer, how many trainings we do, how many students we send, how many classrooms we staff, how many meals we serve. What we are doing is we're saying we're going to call it a success only when the needle has moved, and needle would have moved when one school, first school becomes from failing to passing, then second, then third. The 6th school changing, I think that would have a huge transformational impact. It's not going to be easy because there's no one reason as to why those schools are failing schools. The reasons could go from mental health issues to behavioral issues to family issues. It's like engaging the entire campus in that direction. So College of Education is a champion lead college, and then there's just all of the power is going to, you will start seeing these things rolled out. I'm just giving you a preview right now. We are not ready yet for any kind of rollout. It's going to be probably by September that we'll have all pieces together to roll out, and that time I'll come to you and plead you and ask you, request you to let's engage in the neighborhood and let's do it with the feeling of partnership and growing together. Second area is health. Even though we are close by, but I was just looking at all the visuals and maps this morning. it is really alarming as to how poor the health is. So when we are starting medical school, that's just a one piece of thing, but anything we are going to go and do in the community, it is about population health, it's about community health. So even if we start medical school 2019, or maybe it will be 2020, it's gonna get started. 2019 is my target date, maybe a little bit of leeway to say, okay, maybe 6 months more if it takes a little longer, it's okay. We're gonna do this. And the objective will be to train primary and preventive care physicians who are willing to work in community-based clinics. So it's about population health training. It's not about a specialty care, because we don't want obesity. We don't want birth defects. We don't want early deaths. We do not want emergency visits. We want people to be healthy overall. So how do we do that? That's what we are working through now, the goal and all of that. And that's where our medical school connects also. So we are going to have clinics here on campus. That building that you see, the cranes that you see, that is a $146 million building coming. This will have a smaller space there for a medical school, just the starting of it. And if you think, how big is that building? I always give comparison. I say stadium was $126 million project. This is $146 million building. So it's a huge building. Legislature, we were very lucky. We were able to get funding from the legislature. We got this year for the system, we got 7 buildings funded this year from the legislature. So this is one of one on this campus, this one, then there's one on Sugar Land, which has also become now a branch campus of the University of Houston. Third area, which is economic empowerment in the neighborhood, has 2 components, as I said, jobs. And we are still working through the detail what it would be. But my starting point is, can you train, create, and make sure that people do have training for it, that 100 jobs from the neighborhood, whether it's in Texas Medical Center, whether it's in Texas Southern, it's a U of H, it's around businesses, wherever they may be, 100 new jobs per year for next 5 years. I mean, 500 good jobs in the neighborhood can really change, again, the fabric of many families. And then on the small businesses side, there are people who want to do their business, but not necessarily, they don't know how to write a business plan, how to get venture capital, how to do inventory, and how to, do all of those little things it takes. So can we go and can we promise, for instance, let's do 20, 25 businesses, whatever it takes. We haven't set the goal yet. We haven't set the goal on job 2. That's where we are. I'm just giving you early preview. Can we just have a number as to how many businesses we are going to help grow in the neighborhood, by the neighborhood, each year for next 5 years? If we can do all of those things in a small little ways, but focused, targeted ways, I think we can really help the neighborhood quite a bit. Now, I want to emphasize, well, thank you. I think that's worth a clap for sure. I agree on that. Now, the important thing is this. Right now, I don't know whether you know this or not, but the University of Houston has 1 million volunteer hours in the community every year. 1 million from our faculty, staff, and students. That's a lot. But if I were to ask you, so what? What did it do? We don't know. We can't hold it. We can't measure it. I'm saying whatever we are going to do is not going to be additional. I just want it more focused, more intentional, more synergistic. And that's so it's not about doing 2 million hours now. I keep doing what you're doing, but can we focus them at one neighborhood so it becomes a pilot, and then we go and, maybe it will inspire others. And I can also tell you, I have been talking to, at least for the last 3 months, of different foundations, different groups like Greater Houston Partnership and business groups and Rotary clubs. Out of every initiative I put out there, this one, the neighborhood one, is what they just grab on. And they say, okay, so when can we help? When can you give us more information? Foundations are very interested. So my point is this. When you have something worthy, when you're doing something with the right spirit, when you have the right intentions, you will have to take that first step alone. You cannot wait till everybody comes and join hands and say, let's walk together. First step might be alone, but guaranteed, if the cause is good, if the road is right, if the path is true, people, fellow travelers join. They come and they join you because everybody wants, goodness. Everybody wants a good, healthy community. And I am totally, convinced about that the minute we start to take first step, others start to come. So I told you College of Education started this in January. By now, they have put in $7.5 million worth of grant, and they're preparing now for one foundation for $30 million grant. So the funding will be available, but the thing is, we got to have a vision, we got to have a dream, and we got to have the right spirit. So overall, from the university's point of view, that's where we are headed. Now, I know it might be on your mind, what's about, campus, UT's announced campus, so I might as well address it because you might ask that question anyway. So, yes, 300 acres have been purchased. Nobody, I don't know who's happy with it, but a whole lot of people are totally unhappy with it. And we are not the strongest people who are unhappy with it. We may be the loudest counterforce. We are definitely not the strongest one. There are a lot of people who are unhappy in Austin who just think, would we let any other state agency spend $200 million without a plan? So they are asking their own questions. I can tell you Longhorns aren't happy because they feel that, this is the money that could be going to UT Austin, and now what are you doing, building another campus here? A lot of people in Dallas and Antonio aren't happy. They are questioning. They are saying, well, what about us? We have been UT campus for like 50 years, UT cities. What did you do for us? Why can't you just invest in us? So there are a lot of questions. Nobody knows what it is. I truly believe there is no plan right now. And when the plan comes, any kind of academic programming has to go through coordinating board. And we'll see when that time comes. And it's going to be whatever. First, let the legislature ask their questions. Then we'll let Longhorns ask their questions. Then we'll let other UT cities ask their questions. By the time our turn comes, we'll be way ahead on our road. So I just say, it was shocking. Obviously, it was very alarming, and I have settled into a point now where let the alumni take noise, carry the noise, do whatever else, and let the other people do. For us, we are not going to be defined by how we react to somebody else's actions. We're going to be defined by what we do ourselves. So we're going to stay focused on the kinds of things that we talked about, on the kinds of initiatives, kinds of work that we can do that nobody can do. I cannot believe that any other system would come here and help the communities. We are it. We are it. And right now, for us here on this campus, we are 42,738 students. We have Sugar Land campus. We got funding from Katy, from legislature to build a campus in Katy. So our growth is going to be coming in Sugar Land and Katy. Most of the growth is not coming on this campus, but it's all in our numbers because they are branch campuses. They are not independent universities. So we need to just stay focused. We need to, just continue to change that culture, continue to commit ourselves to students, because I don't know if you do even know even about my blogs or read them or have read them. But there was one blog I put out as to why we have to be true to our core mission, and that's our undergraduate students and graduate students, but particularly undergraduates, because there are 30,000 of us that we have to commit to. And that is because, you can go to a restaurant, they can serve you water, really nice water, give you a window seat, and they can give you all the music in the world, beautiful, absolutely beautiful ambiance. And if they don't serve you meal, you're not going back there to that restaurant, because that was the core mission. And if they serve you a meal, but you end up leaving halfway through for whatever reason, you're not coming back again, because the core mission was the meal, the food. And the same way, no matter what else we build here, all kinds of Taj Mahal we can build in terms of stadium or the UC and all of that is good, but we cannot graduate our students. If we cannot walk with them up to the finish line, then that's when we are failing in our core mission. And failing in the core mission means you only are buying time for how long you would exist as a relevant institution. You might exist, but question is how long as a relevant institution. And there's no better place right now to be in the country than to be in Houston, because it's vibrant no matter what. Even though recession comes, it is still vibrant. I can tell you as chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, economy is bad. It's bad everywhere. But it's much better here than what it is everywhere. When the recession came in 2009, Houston was the last one to get in and the first one to get out. It's a great place, great diversified economy. Even though oil and gas is down, we are not down the way we were down in the 80s here, right? So Houston is a good place, Texas is a good place, and of course, University of Houston, I may be biased, but to me, that is the best university to be at. And I stay committed. This is my 9th year, and I cannot tell you, I keep telling everybody in the city, because they always say, oh my gosh, I mean, look at what has happened at U of H. We're so impressed. It's so transformational. I say, well, what happened in 7 years? Great, that's impressive. I'm happy. What's going to happen in the next 7 years is going to dazzle you, because we are going to go and help the community. We are going to just change, help, improve people's life, and that's what matters. So thank you all very much. I appreciate you, because without you, nothing can happen. And when I say you, I include you in this, because obviously in this role, I'm not part of the faculty. I'm part of the staff. When I leave this position, I'll be part of the faculty, but till that, I am part of you. And I know how hard we work. I mean, I work, but I know you work twice as hard, because no matter where you sit, no matter what job you do, you are touching students a lot closer to where they are than I ever can. So I count on you. I appreciate you. Please take a review about your health initiative, wellness initiative, and let's see if we can do something about our own working environment here. So thank you very much. Okay. All right, I'm happy to answer a couple of questions. Yeah. Yeah. Right. 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 So the big focus of this $1 billion capital campaign is the scholarships and fellowships. Fellowships for graduate students and scholarships for undergraduate students. But I would not lie to you and tell you that we are beating the other local universities, because UT, A&M, and Rice, even SMU, you cannot, because per student, the money that's available, whether from oil endowment or whether from actual endowment, is way more. Even if we raise $1 billion, we have inched forward. So we have to just always do little more with little less. I mean, that's just the fact. But should we stay? Should we settle with mediocrity even in our scholarship program? That's just not acceptable. So I think community has been extremely generous. I mean, in terms of $130 million that come, is a whole lot is now for scholarships for students. We still have a lot of unmet need. We definitely do. I mean, we can give twice as many scholarships, and we're still going to, need more money. Okay.
Anything else? Anyone else? Wow. Okay. I think you said it all then.
All right. Well, let me know. Send me an email or something if you have any thoughts or suggestions about it. Whatever I have said today, I may not know a whole lot of things out there, but if you do think this might help, that might help, do let me know, because we are in a forming stage right now, particularly about neighborhood initiative. I would really love to listen what you may have to offer. And you will listen more, learn more about it. And that time, I hope you will come and join, be partner, and just allow ourselves to do something that will be so gratifying to us. Thank you.
President, before you step away, we wanted to congratulate you and thank you for all of the hard work you've done here at the university and for the system. And we'd like to offer you a Cougar Kudo.
Okay.
And on behalf of Staff Council.
How
It's a
about
nice
that?
little certificate with a Cougar
Let's
pin.
take a picture. Yeah, of course. Let's get a picture here.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for the kudos. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Sure.
Again, for President Couture, thank you. So we'll go ahead and get started with the other part of the staff focus here in regards to listening to some remarks from our, Associate Vice President of Human Resource, Ms. Joan Nelson. Thank you. Yes, let me get that for you. Give me 1 second. Please see me pushing it. Right there, it's right there. So get that out of there. Take that down.
A little bit of a technical difficulty. We'll be with you in a moment. There you go. It's can I have it on the screen? Okay, but it's not working.
Yeah, it's up there. Here, that's. Yep, there it goes.
Okay. Hopefully this is going to work for us. Thank you guys, Staff Council, for inviting HR in to address the staff as it relates to some initiatives that you've asked for and that we're happy to share some of the results that we've done as it relates to wellness initiatives and employee engagement initiatives. So last year around this time, one of the questions you have for President Couture was, what are we going to do about employee engagement, employee wellness? And she said to you, I'm working on it. So here are the results. One of the things she did, that's work there. One of the things she did was to put a committee together that, I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I apologize in advance. She put a committee together that really had us look at what were your needs, some of the things that you really wanted as it relates to wellness, some of the programs we needed to put in as it relates to wellness. So she put a committee together that was charged by Dr. Walker. We put some surveys in place to ask you all what kind of wellness initiatives you'd like to see on campus. We looked at some UHS medical costs. So what is it costing us as it relates to employee wellness? And then we looked at some current initiatives and other initiatives that we're going to be putting in place. Okay, this isn't working, guys. I apologize, guys, when it comes to, I think we should close it and open it back up again.
Nope, there you go.
Okay, what are you doing?
Just click here.
Okay. All right. So I'm over HR, but I'm really bad. We're working on a computer, so I apologize to y'all again. So one of the things that, oh, sorry. Let's try this again. Come on. All right. So as I stated, she put an appointment together with Dr. Walker. We looked at other initiatives as it relates to, I can't see it from here. Appointment together with Dr. Walker. A committee chair was formed where myself, Floyd Robinson over, I think he's a student health and wellness, and Chuck Lang from HHP were put together to look at what are the needs for employee health for the university. We initiated a wellness survey. We developed a new policy recommendation, and I want to get some feedback from you all about that. And then we met with key stakeholders to develop a comprehensive employee wellness initiative. So the employee wellness program, you can't have a program without having an overall mission. So the first thing we did was we developed a mission for where we wanted to take the employee wellness program. And so the mission statement basically says that it is our mission to promote the health and wellness of our faculty, staff, and students through education and other initiatives such as encouraging good health, good habits for wellness, as well as increasing awareness to you, the employees, as it relates to employee wellness. And then we looked at inspiring and other initiatives that gives you the opportunity to take the responsibility for your health. And then we wanted to put in other supporting ideas and supporting programs for you, the community, to continue to increase employee health. And I'm going to be saying employee health a lot, so forgive me for that. So the first thing we did was issue a survey. How many of you participated in the employee survey? Wow, you were all the 24% that participated. So 24% participation of the employee survey that went out sometime in October, November timeframe. And so here is the breakdown of that participation. And you guys can't really see these numbers, and I can't see them either because I can't see it on the screen. But we had administrative staff, it looks like about 8%, Exempt staff, 36%. We had, let's see this number, non-exempt staff, 13%. Part-time faculty, 19%. Full-time faculty was 24%. So we had a pretty good cross-participation of folks who participated in the survey. Okay, that's much better. Thank you. So the key issues of the survey, we focused on health assessment, wellness programs, emotional health programs, work-life programs, as well as other barriers that prevent you to focus on your health. And as a result of your participation, under health assessments, emotional health, wellness programs, work-life balance, these are the top 3 areas that you express the most interest. So under health assessment, we had vision was the highest, nutrition, and biometrics were areas that you wanted more participation on campus. Under emotional health, you expressed stress management, mediation, as well as counseling and psychological services. And you're going to see in that last one, when you look at how much it costs the university, how much it costs the state of Texas for our health, focusing on meditation, mindfulness, and counseling and psychological services. You'll see some numbers that's going to really impact that area. Under the wellness program, exercise, fitness, weight training, and yoga, and in work life, flexible work schedules, remote work locations, and EAP. You're going to hear Courtney Stein come up a little bit later, and he's going to be talking about some of the things that's going to directly address what you expressed in the survey. Now, we also reached out to United Health and asked, what is it costing the university? What does it cost the state to pay for our wellness? We asked for the top 5 areas, top five chronicle areas of health for University of Houston. And this is for the system, not just for the main campus. And the highest area, number of employees, hypertension was number 1. Back pain and joint pain was the second. High cholesterol, which wasn't much surprising, but the third. And then diabetes. And the last area was mental health and substance abuse. You'll notice this is by number of employees. Now, look at the next slide. We also asked what was the cost for these top 5 chronic conditions. And so you'll see that hypertension, although it is the highest, it is the least expensive. This is in millions. Then back pain, high cholesterol, diabetes, but the one that surprised us the most was mental health and substance abuse. So it is clear to us that there is a need in that area that we need to be addressing. And we're going to talk about how we're going to do some of that. So our current initiatives, some of the things that we're doing right now today. How many of you were able to pick up our Back to Basics health calendar? A few of you, good. So we put them out in some areas. We gave some to the college business administrators. We put some out in the student area, and then we had some in the HR service center. We may have more, so if you want to pick up one, we're just in, April? So the calendars are there and available if you would like to pick one up. We did the wellness survey, and our participation was really good, and it really shared a lot of very critical information as we were building this wellness program. We've done an RFP to identify employee assistance programs. Some of you may remember we used to have an employee assistance program. You remember that? I see some head shaking. But the participation rate for the EAP was at less than 1% for the university, for the main campus. And I don't know if y'all remember, but we had this financial downfall where we were all asked to cut 6% of our budget. Some of you remember that? So unfortunately, the thing that left out of my area was EAP. But as you look through some of these processes, I think it's clear that we really need to rethink and reprogram how we're going to put this EAP in place. One of the things that we are looking at is each component campus have their own contract with their own EAP. which makes no sense to me. And so if we're basing our data on participation rate and cost, one of the things we're looking at is having a combined system-wide employee assistance program that's going to allow our employees to have a little bit more benefits, because the cost that what we're paying right now at each component campus should be less than what it would cost us if we did a system initiative. So we're looking at that right now. But this RFP has gone out. We've had several folks submit their proposals to our wellness manager. You'll hear from Court in just a sec. But we received a lot of good information. One of the areas was vision. So if you remember the survey, under medical, people want better vision. Now, we're being told that ERS is going to be offering a better vision program, so we're waiting to see what happens with that. But we are looking at how we can provide more optional benefits for our employees, which means that you have your standard benefits, but instead of doing a cookie cutter where everybody gets everything, we will allow the employees to pick and choose what other optional benefits they would prefer. So we're looking at how we can put that program in place as well. Weight Watchers, and one of the things that you all said, you wanted more exercise, you wanted Weight Watchers. So we are partnering right now with Weight Watchers to get them on campus and get them on some of our outlying areas to engage our employees in focusing on eating healthy and exercising. State of Texas service to implement. How many of you participated in the Form to Work survey that went out? So Court's going to talk a little bit about that, but I don't want to take your thunder, but I just want to say this part. The representative from Form to Work said that they were amazed at the number of people that expressed an interest for Form to Work here at the University of Houston. So we are bringing Form to Work to the University of Houston, and thank you all for your participation in the survey, and thank you for your interest in that area. We are also partnering with, Michelle Obama has an initiative called Healthy America. I don't know if any of you remember the commercials that goes out where she has a forming area around the White House, and she's focusing more on children and obesity and healthy eating. Well, there is a new initiative now that's called Healthy Campuses, and we're looking to participate and the Healthy Campus initiative of the Healthy America program. And this program is really, it requires very strict rules to participate, and we met many of those requirements. But Courtney will be moving forward and getting that initiative forward. So you'll see, I think we'll be the second university in Texas that will be participating in the Healthy Campus initiative. So we're excited about that as well. We're looking at faculty and staff physical fitness classes. Now, keep in mind, guys, we have a huge, very nice fitness center on campus. And we've done some things to try to promote that, and we're going to continue to try to promote utilizing the facility on campus. But we're also looking at putting different programs in place that's going to be geared directly to faculty and staff. As it relates to putting maybe a yoga on campus, or different types of programs that's going to gear directly to you versus having a program at the Wellness Center. So Courtney is working on those initiatives as well. We're looking at the Snack America vending machines. So have anyone noticed that in our vending machines, you have potato chips and you have Coke and you have all that good stuff? Well, recently there was a survey done or participation done with the medical center where we were looking at, if folks had a choice to pick a bag of Lay's potato chips or to pick a healthy snack, what would they choose? Well, the majority of the folks took the potato chips because, and we believe this, there weren't enough healthy snacks as an option in the vending machines. So we're partnering with Emily Mesa to put more healthy vending machines on campus so that will at least allow you more options to eat healthier. And then we're working with ERS, United Health, to do the biometrics program, and we're trying to figure out when we're going to do that, if it's going to be in June or if we're going to do it sometime in October. But we will be doing some type of biometrics initiative with ERS. And this is based on your feedback, based on the survey that you submitted. So some of our future initiatives are to implement, and this is what folks have been asking for how many years? A long time. So we have drafted a new fitness release policy. The policy, and I'll go over a little bit of it in just a minute, but the policy will allow or encourage our employees to just get away from your desk and just walk around for a little while, for 3 days a week. I think it's 30 minutes for 3 days a week. But it encourages you to get from your desk and just start walking to move. And so we'll talk a little bit about that, and I'll let you know what that policy is. Optional benefits for UHS. We talked a little bit about this, so it's going to either be EAP or it'll be some other optional benefits. Some of the things that we hear from you as well as from faculty is that they want childcare, more childcare programs. They want elderly care programs. It is very clear we need substance abuse and mental health programs. So we're looking at how we can promote additional programs that is not offered through ERS to our employees. We have the Power Up newsletter and the website that's coming. You should have been receiving some information about the Power Up newsletter. That's going to be ongoing, and we're updating our website in that area right now. This is the one that I'm most excited about, but I'm going to have to pass like a little collection box around and ask for some money from you guys to make this one happen. But I really want to bring on the Fitbit portal to the University of Houston system. And what this does is it allows you to go online and purchase a Fitbit. We pay a portion of that Fitbit. And then it allows us to track your activities, which means it allows us to put programs in place. We can do faculty staff challenges, we can do department challenges, we can do division challenges, but we really want to make wellness and fitness fun. And by purchasing this program, it's going to allow us to put these different initiatives in place. Now, we won't know who you are, the person. All we'll know is that you are a faculty person or a staff person that works in administration and finance or work in student affairs. So we're working with Jim McShann in Administration and Finance to see if we can get a budget to put that program in place. The wellness champions in each division, Court's going to be working and identifying one person in each division to support all of our wellness initiatives. And that person will keep you all within your division informed of some of the things that we'll be doing. And the other is healthy cooking. So that's an area that was also discussed during the survey, that folks want to eat better, they just don't know how to cook better. So we'll be partnering with HHP to put some cooking initiatives, cooking programs in place. Now, what Chuck has said to me is that that's not going to take place until we get a better kitchen. So there is some plan to build a bigger kitchen in the HHP area. Now, let's talk about the fitness release program. So we all know that the other component campuses has fitness release, and we've been asking for a while. Why can't we have a fitness release program? Why can't we put something in place that's going to support wellness initiatives? So we have drafted a policy, and we've given it to the president and her cabinet. We're waiting for a response back for either approval or denial or make some additional changes. But we're waiting for feedback from the president's cabinet to put this program in place. And once we get that feedback, I'll make sure that I share that with staff council, and we'll get some communication out to the community as well. So one of the things the president said to me when she called me in her office and said, Joan, what I'm hearing from staff is they want wellness initiatives and they want more employee engagement programs. So the wellness initiatives seem to be more critical in ensuring that we put something in place. But the employee engagement piece is also very critical. So as we are moving forward and getting our wellness program finalized and putting some teeth around that, we're also looking at how we can improve the employee engagement initiatives. And so under the employee engagement piece, one of the things that you all should have received was, or some of you in the room should have received, a survey from Best Colleges to Work, Great Colleges to Work. How many of you received a? Okay, it was anonymous, so if y'all want to share that, thank you so much. But if you have not completed the survey, I think it's too late already. Did it close Friday? They did, great. So we had a 24% participation rate, and that's pretty low for this type of program. So if you know of someone who received an email was selected. We sent out 600 surveys out to our community, and we have a 24% participation rate right now. And so we're asking for folks to please go in and complete the survey so that we can increase our numbers. Because one of the things that the president has committed to me is that, we go out, and y'all should be tired of this, right? We go out and we give y'all surveys, and we give you more surveys, and then that's it. So for the wellness program, thank you for the 24% that participated, because you're really going to see results coming out of the feedback we received from that survey. But as it relates to other surveys, so the Best Colleges to Work For survey really measures the climate of the university, how engaged people are, how satisfied you are, how much you like getting up in the morning and coming to work and hate leaving at the end of the day. How many of us are like that? But it also talks about communication, it scores benefits, it scores leadership and how well your managers are treating you. These things, when we get this information, we need to do something about it. It's not just giving us a survey and giving us a label that we can brag about, but there are areas of improvement that we must move the needle. And that's my charge that the president has given me. And that is, we're going to be looking at this data, and we're going to be putting programs in place and meeting with her cabinet and explaining to them what we need to do to move into different categories that will recognize the university to be an employer of choice. So you'll see some of that coming out as well. And we have the Division Employee Recognition Program. Now, Staff Council has been asking for this for a while. And that is, we have our Staff Council luncheon program where people are coming in and they're recognized. There's been a lot of questions about how are people nominated? Who select these folks? And you're working in a specific division where you're doing a lot of hard work. So, I have some divisions. I'll pick on student affairs because they're doing things very well. So, student affairs have their own kind of division and staff recognition program. We need to have that in all of our divisions. And within those divisions, we want those names to feed up into the staff excellence program so that you're being recognized not just by your division, but by the community as a whole. So I'm committed to working with Staff Council to put this program in place. It's really going to happen, I promise. I promise. You heard that, right? Okay. We want to do more faculty and staff campus events. So we want to partner with athletics and do more fun and support our athletics department by having a staff appreciation at the football games, at the baseball games, at the basketball games. And our athletic director is interested in putting these programs in place. So we're going to be looking at how we can do more employee recognition under the athletic side, and they need our support, so we need to partner with them. And finally, this is my favorite. How many of you remember Sandy Cothrop? Sandy Cothrop, she was a division director of training and development. So Sandy's retired, but Sandy's been trying to put First Fridays in place for a while, but no big success. But maybe if I partner with Staff Council and we look at how we can do more employee engagement on campus. Folks come in and they work and they go home. And we have a very beautiful campus with a lot of stuff that's going on campus. So we need to figure out how we can get our employees engaged after work so that we can mingle with each other and get to know each other. And when we do that, then when people call you that you've never met before, you know who they are. So we need to do more employee engagements, and First Friday is one of the ones that we're going to try to do this year. And with that, I think that concludes the presentation. So questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I was just wondering if we would ever consider doing like a bike share, like Houston B-Cycles on campus, so that people could rent bikes during their lunch hour or something like that.
Yeah, that was mentioned at one of the Wellness Committee meetings. And Court, do you remember what they said about that? That they were looking at doing kind of a bike share?
Yeah, I figured if we did an outside vendor, that would also maybe clear us up of liability if somebody falls. All right, cool, thanks.
Hey, let me introduce you to Courtney Stein. Courtney has been hired to support our wellness programs and our wellness initiatives. So why don't you just come on up, and then I'll answer more questions, and then you can talk about some other initiatives that we have in place. Any other questions?
I like what you said, the idea which you asked for this money about it. It's a very good one, and it might, it might really encourage more the staff wellness if we if we make that competition between colleges or departments, they might even, adapt some budget inside these departments for the wellness of their own staff, and they might offer once a week yoga class in that area, or they might even put a room in that area instead of the person to live far, some small room with some equipment that they can exercise.
Our library, and I want to recognize the library, but they're doing that right now. They have a wellness program in place for the employees in the library, and it's doing very well. So we're going to try to model what they're doing as well within the college.
That competition, I really like this idea, and it's really will even encourage people to do more exercises, because myself, I would love to go somewhere near me, do something instead of waste a lot of time just reaching anywhere.
Thank you, Salsa.
Thank you.
So up next is the HR Wellness Manager. Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. I'm so sorry.
It is 2:03. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. Just wondering if there was any thought to tying desired outcomes when it comes to fitness and wellness, sort of like a pay-to-play situation. Maybe if you're looking into the Fitbit type of challenges or activity challenges, if you get, 50,000 steps in 1 week, perhaps you get a discount on a service, like a health service or something like that. Just kind of wondering. I love hearing all of this. This is really, really great. But I'm wondering if there a way to tie. People want to keep money in their pocket, and I think that's a really powerful incentive. So maybe tying those outcomes to that activity or something like that to the outcomes that we actually want. Just curious.
And good feedback. One of the things that when we look at outcomes for wellness programs, organizations put wellness programs in place because the goal is to reduce costs of their medical costs, right? But we are a part of the state, so it was very challenging for us to see how we can align our wellness program to the costs, the benefits. But what I'm hearing you say, though, is let's reward the employees to participate in the programs. Okay. All right. Well, good feedback. Good feedback. Okay, thank you.
On the same line of what she was just saying, basically, I used to work at one of the sister schools, and there was free gym membership, which was a huge incentive for me because I just can't beat free. Are there any incentives, for a better discount, maybe for the gym membership in cooperation with the flex time that we're offering, maybe to go there during our lunch break or whatever? I think cost has a lot to do with probably lack of participation sometimes.
Thank you. So let me tell you guys, we looked into that piece of it. We were looking at doing some type of discount program for the fitness center on campus. It would be better for our employees. They're here. We're trying to keep them here. But there is a student contract in place with our students where we cannot offer less than what the students are paying out of their fees. So we tried to do something like that. We're working with Dr. Walker and his group to see what other programs we can put where if you sign up, you get a trial period for 6 months or something like that. So we're trying to be creative and seeing how we can put different programs in place for the fitness center. But I was told that as it relates to what you pay versus what the students pay, you can't pay less than them according to their contract.
Are paid maternity and paternity benefits something that UH has the power to do, or is that a legislature thing?
Both. So the federal government requires us to offer both maternity leave as well as family medical leave for our employees, but that leave is unpaid. But we do offer sick leave, or vacation leave, that coincides with that benefit. Now, you also know that the federal government is talking about paying for maternity leave, or FML, paid leave versus the non-paid leave that just passed in California, so that's been a buzz, and we'll see what happens with that.
Just to kind of piggyback off of that, for those who pay into short-term disability, can they use that for maternity leave?
No, and so short-term and long-term disability is that you're disabled to come into work. So you have to be out for more than 30 days for short-term disability. I was going to say STD, and people always laugh when I say that, short-term disability. And typically, under your short-term disability, I don't know if they consider having a baby as a disability. Answer is probably no. They do? Yeah, well, if your doctor says you're disabled and you have short-term disability, you should look into that. That's it. Thank you all. Court?
So welcoming HR's Wellness Manager from Human Resources, Courtney Stein.
Hello. So, thank you. Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be able to speak to you this afternoon. And I think Joan did a great job of covering a lot of the ground that we've covered so far and been working on. But I did want to share with you a few other things that we're working on, get some feedback from you, and also take any additional questions that you might have. So as you know, we did the survey, and Joan shared with you a lot of the results. The things that rose to the top, the sort of 4 pillars of the program, are physical activity, nutrition and diet, weight loss, weight management, and stress management. And under stress management falls the emotional, behavioral, substance use piece. So those are at the core of the program that we're designing. But we really want it to be a comprehensive program. And when we talk about comprehensive, we mean taking into consideration all aspects of wellness. So social wellness, emotional wellness, occupational wellness, financial wellness. One of the things that we've been working with the library on is next fall and into the spring, we'll be offering lunch and learns twice a month right here in the Rockwell. And we're going to make those holistic wellness offerings. So we'll be offering things on financial wellness and occupational wellness. We want it to really be a well-rounded program. So it's going to go beyond just the physical wellness is the point that I'm hoping to make. And in fact, right now in Human Resources, this month alone, we have 3 financial wellness offerings. Lunch and learns that are being offered. Lunch is provided. All you have to do is go on PASS, look up under training, and you can sign up for those classes. So if you're at all interested in those, please look at those when you leave today, because we have 3 coming up this month alone. So under physical activity, nutrition, diet, weight management, and so forth, we're looking at what programs can we put in place. So physical activity, one of the things we want to put in place are some types of formal activities that faculty and staff can participate in. We know you can go to the rec center, but wouldn't it be great if we offered yoga somewhere else on campus so that if you didn't have a membership at the rec center, you could go do yoga if you wanted to. And maybe it's yoga in the park, maybe it's yoga in the Rockwell, maybe it's yoga somewhere on campus. I'm finding very quickly that it's hard to find space, and it's very hard to find free space. And that's been a bit of a challenge, but just so you know, we're working on that. That's one of the things we're looking at. As part of our participation in Partnership for a Healthier America, we've selected 23 different guidelines that we have committed to putting in place. One of those Joan mentioned was healthy vending machines. Another one is putting mile marker routes for walking on campus. So you'll be able to go, if nothing else, on your lunch break and walk half a mile, and by the end of the week, maybe you walked 5 miles. So being able to count the miles and the distance that you walk. So we're looking at doing that. We're also trying to find a place on campus, maybe in the basketball arena, where you can walk during lunch during the summer. We are partnering with the Public Art Association here on campus to do Art for Your Health walks, but they're going to begin in September. And the idea is we have so much amazing art on campus. Wouldn't it be cool if we had some organized walks during the lunch hour where you could actually take a tour and see 4 or 5 different pieces of art? So you walk really fast, you get to a piece of art, you breathe and you rest and you find out about it, then you walk to the next one. So we think that'll be a lot lot of fun, educational, and wouldn't it be great? We're hoping to put some prizes in place if you got to see 50 pieces of art or whatever the case may be. We don't know yet, but we'll start that in September, so please look for that. In the summer, we decided to postpone that till September because it's just so hot during the summer. So that we're looking for an indoor space that we could say every Tuesday, and Thursday, this place is devoted to faculty and staff walking during these hours, and you could do laps. So that's one thing that we're thinking about doing. But finding ways that staff can be, if we get this fitness release policy, ways that we have organized activities that you can take part in. Group walking. There's one called Walk with Leaders on campus. And the idea would be to have a different leader lead the walks. And we'd have a schedule for the fall and spring. And if you were interested in walking with the athletic director or the football coach or whoever it might be, you could sign up and you could take that walk. But having a variety of things that people could do. So you have choices and you have options. Underneath weight management, you've received information about Weight Watchers. We're hoping to have, knock on wood, our first meeting. It's a registration information meeting, and that would be April 27th. And at that time, all your questions will be answered. We didn't share a lot of information because they told us, we just need to know if there's an interest. And I said, I guarantee you there's an interest. And they said, no, you have to do a survey. So we did a survey, and we got 480 people responding right away saying, yes, we'd like Weight Watchers. But we didn't really put any other information out about it, like when it was going to be, what day, and that all has yet to be determined, is based on facilitation, who can come and do the meetings, at what time of day, and so forth. We do know that they offer two programs, a 12-week program, which is $156, and a 17-week program, which is $186. All of that will be discussed. There's different ways that you can pay, and that'll be at the first meeting. If you do participate and you sign up in April, they give you a starter pack, which includes a little pocket blender and a tape measure and lots of good stuff, lots of good goodies. What's great about Weight Watchers is they've been around for 50 years. A lot of people love them. They've revamped their system. The program that they bring to campus is called Beyond the Scale. So they're looking at food, they're looking at fitness, and they're looking at fulfillment. So they're taking a much more holistic approach, and it's not just based on the points. It goes much beyond that. And they're very, very pleased and proud of the new program, and it looks to be being quite effective. What I like about it is the personal touch. You have the accountability, you have them coming to you, the convenience of having that at work. So pretty soon we're going to send an email out that's going to tell you about that meeting and when to come, and it'll contain a lot more information about the program. I share that with you now because we're also going to be rolling out another weight loss program, so you'll have a choice. This weight loss program is called Real Appeal, and I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it's being offered through Health Select. So if you have United Healthcare as your insurance provider and you have Health Select, this program is an online weight loss group program. It lasts 52 weeks, which is an entire year. You sign on once a week in a group, and there's a curriculum, there's videos, there's live facilitators, trainers that take you through the program. And 2 weeks after you sign up, you get a starter kit in the mail, and you get a blender. You actually get a blender. You get a digital scale, you get exercise bands, you get workout DVDs, you get cookbooks, you get measuring cups, you get a MyPortion plate. They give you all the bells and whistles, and it's totally free. It is based on, qualification for the program is based on your BMI, and you have to have, it's a minimum BMI of 23. So, but you have an individualized custom appointment when you sign up with someone online, and then you go from there. So anyway, I share this with you because we have two programs coming out, both very beneficial, both science-based, and appeal to different people. So we'll have this information online, so you'll be able to get more information about it, but we'll also send out an email, so you'll get all the details about that coming up, okay? The stress management piece, again, we're looking at yoga. We're looking at trying to get some mindful meditation programs going, and we're also looking at getting the EAP on campus so that people have opportunities for workshops, individual one-on-one counseling, and so forth, okay? And let's see, what else did I want to share with you real quick? We talked about that. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. We have lots of things in the works. It takes much longer to put things in place than one would ever imagine. So you hear the excitement, where you're getting emails, you're getting surveys. The Farm to Work is a wonderful program. We're excited about that, and we would roll it out tomorrow, except we have to find the ideal location because it has to be under an awning. It has to be covered. There has to be room for the truck to unload all the vegetables and so forth. We're really excited. We're going to be partnering with a local farmer that's called Planet Forward. I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but they do great work in the community, and they have great produce. And it's so easy. You go online. If you want to buy vegetables this week, all you do is pay for it online, and then you know that on Thursday at a designated time, you can go down and pick up your bushel or your bag of fresh vegetables and fruit. I emailed them, I think it was an hour after the survey went out, and as Joan said, he said, Courtney, I have to tell you, this is the largest response in our history that we've ever had. In an hour, we had 980 people on your campus say that they want this program. Suffice it to say, we're going to do it. It's, because I had to do a survey to prove to them that there was interest. So we were excited about that. So that is in the works, and we're looking for probably a June 1st start date for that. But more information to come. Joan mentioned biometric screening. Am I out of time? Oh, good. Biometric screening, we think from our results, people want more information. We think that's important because it builds awareness of your own individual health and what you need to be doing to take care of yourself. So we're looking at partnering with United Healthcare for them to come on campus, and you'll be able to go down and have your biometric screening done at work. It's part of preventive care, so it's paid for. It won't cost you anything. So you'll have that great data that you can share with your healthcare provider and go from there and taking care of your own personal health and wellness. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll take place in October. We're trying to determine what would be the best option for a health fair. And one option is to partner with the new School of Nursing. They will have about 80 nursing students come the fall that would love to do something, so I'm all over that. So I'm hoping we can partner with them and really come up with a really a great comprehensive health and wellness fair. Questions for me? I'm rattling at this point. Yes?
On United Healthcare. You focus a lot on United Healthcare, but United Healthcare is not the only provider.
Right.
Have you considered, or is there movement towards including the other healthcare providers in these initiatives?
Yes. Oh, go ahead. So Kelsey Care is the other healthcare provider. Unfortunately, their wellness offerings that they provide are not as robust as United Healthcare. And the issue becomes, I have Kelsey Care. So we're trying to come up with programs that are not tied directly to United Healthcare, that we can offer everybody, regardless of who your insurance carrier is. And then I'm also reaching out to Kelsey Healthcare to see if they will partner with us, for example, on the biometric screenings. If they will partner with us, we could take care of everybody. Some places where I've been before, there's like 6 different healthcare providers, and they just partner with an outside agency and bypass that altogether so that they can do everybody in one big group. But hopefully we are aware of that, and we're working to address that.
The other is there are a growing number of staff located at ERP, and if you're interested in finding a place that's covered and a truck can unload, ERP has it for you. But also these programs that you have are seem to be centered around campus, and even a shuttle ride, it would eat up your whole lunch hour just to get from A to B, not B back to A. So if you could think about with programs, the people at ERP, I know we would appreciate it.
Sure, you bet. I've already been talking to someone about possibly having a Weight Watchers group specifically over there, and also about the possibility of bringing yoga over there. So those are 2 things we've been talking about, and I think you're right. Yes, it would take your entire lunch break. Even with the fitness release time, if you got 30 minutes to walk to the gym and walk back would be your 30 minutes. You wouldn't really have time. So that's why we're trying to come up with some organized activities, walking things that you could do that wouldn't necessitate going to the gym for that. But good point, and we have not forgotten about you. We are thinking about you. Other questions?
For the farm thing, are we going to be able to customize the produce, or is it like you buy $30 and you get this? Because sometimes you might not want all of that.
Right. So it's basically $25, and for $25 you get a bushel of whatever is seasonal and fresh and grown. But there is something called the traded out bin. So let's say it's full of cauliflower, you know, and I hate cauliflower. I can go to that bin, and hopefully somebody else has put in the broccoli, and I can switch it out. But basically, you get a preset amount and type of whatever they're growing at that time. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Courtney. So our next presenter is going to be Ms. Sandra Armstrong. She is the Director of Human Resource Operations, and she's going to be talking about e-performance. So,
good afternoon, everyone. What you've all been waiting for, e-performance, right? First of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone for the calendar year e-performance. We had a over 99% completion rate, and that's thanks to everyone in this room and working very hard to accomplish that. On the cusps of that, of course, we are now in full phase calendar year 2016 documents. And so I'm here to talk to the group today about the 2016 process and some of the new functionality that's in the document itself. The document was created late Friday evening, and it's now available for all employees to go in and start entering their goals. You should be seeing a notification going out today, if it's not already in your inbox this afternoon, about navigation and about the enhancements on the form itself. Primarily, what we're looking at in this new year is that employees can go in and enter their goals in the criteria phase, and in the evaluation phase, they'll be able to do what we call a self-evaluation. Managers have different opportunities as well. They'll be able to go in and pull down from a drop-down of competencies from their employees and customer service goals. And so those are some of the changes that are coming. We have online training. You don't have to log in to pass or go into TAP to take it. You simply go to our HR webpage and you can see the training for the document. We are going to be adding on to that training to include the evaluation phase as well. And then, of course, we're also doing INTAC training and doing training in the Kiva room that you all can come out and look at the functionality of the form. Let me talk to you a little bit about the dates, or due dates, rather. Employees have until May the 6th to go in and enter their goals, so that's a month, after which managers will have another month to go in and complete the criteria phase. So the criteria should be completed by June the 3rd of this year. The actual evaluation for 2016 will be due March 1st of 2017 next year. One other functionality that we're looking at, and it's not in this calendar year, but we're definitely discussing it for calendar year 2017, is this new function called 360 evaluation. What it will do is it will expand a little bit more on the self-evaluation piece, allowing the form to have, the function to have peer-to-peer evaluation, customer evaluation, if you will, whereby a manager and or an employee could select candidates that would be able to participate in their evaluation. So the functionality's there. We're definitely looking at it for 2017. And of course, as we start looking at that functionality and what we would turn on, we would definitely bring it to this group, discuss it with you all so that you all start seeing that. But we're looking at turning some of that on for 2017. So those are the highlights of e-performance. I would like to open up the room here to questions, issues, concerns that you may have with e-performance that we can address. We can certainly try to answer those questions for you all. Over here.
First, because I noticed they were on the top of, we asked them any question about finalizing the e-performance, and we wouldn't be able to finalize it if they weren't like answering our question, doing the things, correct, some documents, send it back. They were like almost 24 hours working. So
Yes.
that's first. They really did a good job to help us to finalize on time.
Thank you, Sasan. We appreciate the feedback.
Any other questions back there?
there has been a lot of informal comments made about the realigning or changing the way we're thinking about our scores. That 3 is a good thing instead of 3 being average, not as good. And it's a little bit difficult as we try to shift it. It's a little bit difficult because in so many areas of where we do business, if you can't give us a 5, then we're not doing something right. So when we look at our performance evaluations, if we can't get a 5, then it feels like we're not doing something right. So I think that there needs to be more communication happening at all levels just to make sure that the mark that we're trying to hit or better is understood by everyone and embraced, truly embraced, that 3 is a good or and 4 is better. But there also needs to be something more definite than you need to be able to walk on water to hit a 5. So making a 5 something that is for people who really give it their all, making a 5 an established criteria that is attainable if people really go the extra mile. So if we could talk more about that and establishing that in all different types of jobs, just so that we can know what we're striving for to hit the 5.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. As a matter of fact, as we're going out and looking at the e-performance tool and the function of the tool itself, we're also looking at getting out in the community and providing performance appraisal training, if you will, to address some of the issues that you've just discussed with us, really the true definition of a 1, a 2, a 3, and so forth and so on. And also looking really now that as employees we have the ability to enter our goals, what should those goals be? And so we've gone out and we've started talking about SMART goals, if you will. And what are SMART goals? And that helps address some of the issues that you just discussed, really, that, a goal should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, that you can actually work towards the end of that goal throughout this calendar year, and that you're having this performance appraisal process, if you will, throughout the year and not towards the end when we have the deadline. So thank you very much for bringing that up. We are looking at providing more training as far as the performance appraisal process is concerned, and also looking at SMART goals as well.
Anything else? Sorry, I have a quick question. Have you thought about putting in better incremental deadlines so that, for instance, I don't get my performance review in the afternoon that it's due? That was going to be my question. Because it happens to a lot of people in my office this time.
So we have, again, this year we upgraded to 9.2, to PeopleSoft 9.2. And in 9.2, we were able to turn on different things, thus the new functionality of self-evaluation and entering goals in the criteria phase. There are what we call different checkpoints in the document itself. And so we've heard two sides of the story with that. One is definitely, hey, I'd like checkpoints throughout the year, or have you all remind us something's coming up, not just us as employees, but for the managers as well, to let you all know, hey, we're halfway through it, you should be discussing this with your employee, et cetera. So that's one side of the conversation that we've heard. The other side of the conversation is, you have me going in there too many times touching this form throughout the year. So, you're, as an employee, I go in, then my manager goes in, then my manager has to come out, and I have to do something else. And with the checkpoints, definitely, there would be a required touch, if you will, of the form. So it's definitely there and something we can look at for 2017. Where we can turn those on, and in essence what it will do is it will give these reminders, if you will, to employees and managers that we are in different phases of the evaluation.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh, wait, here we go.
If a staff person wants to appeal the score that they've been given, they feel like they have proof or justification, they should have got another score or a different score? Is there an official process that the staff person should take?
Yes, and I'll speak a little bit about it, and Joan, if I'm missing anything, please feel free to chime in. So you can definitely contact Human Resources if you have questions about your evaluation and if you'd like to address it moving forward. Our Employee Relations Office can certainly help address those issues with you and definitely talk to you about what the next steps are. Connie Kemp is the manager that oversees employee relations, and she can certainly help with that. Joan, am I missing anything else?
I mean, we first ask that you address those issues with your manager. So if there's some conflict, or if you feel that you have evidence that you have achieved a specific goal and they're telling you you haven't, the first thing I'm going to tell you is have that conversation with your manager. If your manager isn't willing to have that conversation with you, go to their manager and have the conversation. At the end of that point, Human Resources is available, because what we're going to do is go to your manager and go to that person's manager to address your needs.
Anything else?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Well, everyone, that concludes our event. Thank you so much for coming. As another reminder, don't forget to participate in the staff council election. Nominate yourself, nominate someone. Any information you're looking for is on our website. Thank you so much for coming.